it does sort of beg the question, is this the right game, the right approach when others are quickly going to the other area of weight loss drugs? And you've been pushing back against that it's not really prudent for your company to do so in terms of going after that weight loss market. But in some ways, if it's a market comparison, it's like investors saying, look, semiconductors or Nvidia, it's not for me. Yeah. It is the big game in town. Do you still feel like you've missed out?
Look, when I look at our history, we've always been at our best when we go to places we know we can win. And in areas like breast cancer, we have new areas like radioligand therapies and cell therapies. These are places where I feel like we have the right to win. I think with obesity right now, we have two very entrenched large players. And I think for future entrants, you have to find something new, some sort of new angle that either reduces the nausea and the vomiting or gives patients the ability to lose their weight and maintain their muscle. And that's going to require, I think, new mechanisms of action. We're working on that in our research labs, but I think just to follow on the frenzy now would not be the right move for Novartis.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, and it is the natural comparison between those kind of companies and the pure play pharmaceuticals. But because of our lifestyle, because of the aging population, because of the Western diet, for want of a better word, the Four Horsemen, as they call it, they're not going away. You know, cardiovascular problems, cancer problems, diabetes, Alzheimer's. Unfortunately, they're all getting worse as well. There's plenty, unfortunately, and I wish it wasn't the case, there's plenty for you to have in terms of your niche markets, isn't there?
There's plenty to do. I mean, when you look at our growth rates, we've been able to pretty sustainably grow 7 to 10%, not being in obesity. And I think when you look at some of the unmet needs that you talk about, we're far away from effective drugs in Alzheimer's disease, Huntington's, Parkinson's, with a lot of work to do there. In many cancers, we've not made enough progress. If you think about colon cancer, pancreatic cancer, cancers of the brain, even lung cancer, a lot more opportunity. One of the big areas we've invested in is called radioligand therapy. This is where we target small doses of radiation to cancers with the hope that we could take on many, many more solid tumors. We've made 2 acquisitions in that space. We have a global network, 2 launched medicines. That's an area where we think we could build a $20 billion plus business over time and hopefully build a unique position rather than, chasing other markets.
Is there any hope of changing the periods of exclusivity for patents as well? Because you make these stunningly large investments in the pipeline as well, and then you lose exclusivity on patent cliffs as well. Obviously, it's been going on as long as the pharmaceutical industry has been around as well. But it's a barrier, and we spoke briefly off air, it's a barrier to your share price, it's a barrier perhaps to more investment because you could leverage off that share price as well. Is any administration around the world likely at any stage to improve the patent exclusivity, given all the research you guys are putting in?
I mean, I think unfortunately most governments under fiscal pressures are looking to actually curtail our period of exclusivity, and that's a problem for innovation. I mean, I think one of the challenges with the IRA is that we need to now hopefully get this amended in the future because they've made the period too short for our exclusivity in the new US policy for small molecule drugs. I think the way we try to approach it at Novartis is to go into high-end technologies which be hard to genericize. So if you think about radioligand therapy, this is a technology that you have to deliver it to the patient in 5 days, requires nuclear capabilities inside of a company, not easy to replicate. Yeah. Cell therapies require personalized care, personalized production for the patient. And these are very, very hard to replicate technologies.